I just finished watching every single UFC Media Day press conference, the single one, by the way. I don't know when this video is exactly going up, but the big press conference hasn't happened yet. Regardless, there are some fighters that I would like to talk about. Maybe we can analyze what's going on in their heads. Maybe we can adjust our predictions based on how they look, how they're acting. Are they upset? Are they coming into the fight emotional? This is the stuff that I like to think about on my own, so why not make a video on it? Guys, we're going to talk about it in just a second. If you'd like to skip to any particular fighter, of course, we don't have every fighter on there. Some people like Colby Covington. There wasn't a lot to take away from. He was just doing the Colby Covington shtick, right? So anyways, check out any one of the fighters down below in the pinned comment. Timestamps are there if you'd like to skip, guys. We're going to talk about them in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's get started. Starting off with Leon Edwards, and for the most part, Leon Edwards was just kind of being himself. He kind of seemed like he didn't really care. What's interesting about Leon Edwards, though, is now that he's champion, and this is something that he actually said, he doesn't feel that this is the same type of level fight than when he was actually pursuing the championship. He's a little bit more laid back. He seems very, very confident in his abilities. It almost seems like he knows that he's going to beat Colby Covington. He seems very, very laid back, very calm. And I know Leon Edwards is always kind of like that, but still, you would think with fighting a guy like Colby Covington, with all of the social media coming on right now, I guess like people were hating on Leon Edwards a little bit before this, but then it kind of all got moved to Ian Gary. So I was thinking like maybe Leon would come with a chip on his shoulder because the fans were upset about him because he wanted to fight Islam Makhachev, or he wanted to move up and fight, not Islam, excuse me, Colby wanted to fight Islam. He wanted to fight the winner of Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. The fans were just not really happy with Leon Edwards in general. And plus, you have all the Colby fans talking about America's champ. We're going to take the belt back, right? I was just interested to see if Leon Edwards would come in a little bit frustrated. He didn't seem like that at all. He didn't seem like that. He was just laid back, calm, relaxed. He's confident in his abilities, had a good training camp. He looks good. He looks healthy. So I'm actually feeling good about what I've seen from Leon Edwards so far. Next up, though, I want to talk about Wonderboy Thompson, one of my favorite fighters of all time. I also got a good feeling from Wonderboy Thompson because, of course, we all know he's 40 now, and it is very difficult to win a title at his age. But in his last fight against Kevin Holland, he showed that he is defying time like Glover Teixeira. He fought like he was 29 years old. He fought like he was in his prime. He still looks good. He can still hang here, and he was talking about that, how difficult it is to be 40, but he said he does not feel 40, and that is very evident. He looks very healthy. He looks very strong, and judging by his last performance, and I know a lot can change in just 1 year. A lot can, especially at that age. I have no reason to believe that he's not coming in peak shape. And more importantly, he is still so motivated because he's saying because of the position that he's at in his career, if he gets a very good win here over Shavkat Rakhmonov, maybe he can jump in and fight the loser of Colby versus Leon Edwards and then get a title fight after that. This dude is he's still incredibly motivated. He is still in shape. He's looking healthy. He's looking good. He still has title aspirations. That's kind of a recipe for success. But man, he has a tall task ahead of him. So Stephen Thompson, just like Leon Edwards, I'm feeling really, really good about. Now let's talk about somebody that I'm not feeling so good about, and that's Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson kind of came to the press conference with the same energy that he's come in since he's been losing this entire streak. The media would ask him one question, he'd start rambling on about nothing. You could be like, hey, Tony, how you feeling? And then he would say, sometimes he would answer the question, sometimes he wouldn't. He would say, oh, I'm feeling good, but then he'd start talking about like, oh, these fans, everybody's telling me I should retire. So this dude is angry. He's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. This dude is he's still confident in his abilities. So depends on what you want to look at that, because Tony Ferguson's legitimately crazy, I believe. He's still confident in his abilities. He thinks he's going to school Paddy Pimblett. It's just he's looking old. I would say he looks maybe a little bit better than he has in his most recent fights. But still, he's looking old. He's still going to come in slow. The dude's still delusional. He's going to take too much damage. We don't know how much he's been putting his body through training. Like, he's crazy. I know Tony Ferguson is a freak. He's a freak in nature when it comes to athlete, but the reality is he's 40 years old now, and he can't keep putting his body through the same types of things that he's been putting through his whole career. He's still going to come in with that same mindset. He's been talking about like, oh, look what happened. I'm the most violent man in here. Look what happens when these guys leave with me. And then he starts talking about like randomly, I want to get hit by Justin Gaethje. I wanted to feel his power. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. This dude is completely out of left field. He's still very confident in himself. Nothing has changed from his other press conferences, and he's probably going to lose again. Honestly, he's probably going to lose again because nothing is changing for Tony Ferguson. He just has David Goggins, which is probably motivational, but still, I have no faith in this dude. This dude is not fixing anything in his game. Next up, though, let's talk about his opponent, that being Paddy Pimblett. Now, a little bit interesting to take away from Paddy Pimblett because I didn't know to what extent that he was out of commission for. I know that he had foot surgery. He broke his foot, but then apparently, apparently, Paddy Pimblett said his foot got infected. So that put him out of commission for an even longer time. He was in pain. The road to recovery was a lot worse than what it was. He was going crazy. And on top of that, the dude is busy getting married. He just got married and he is having 2 daughters. The 2 daughters thing is very interesting because now he said that he has something new to fight for. He can't wait to meet his daughters. He's being very, very positive about his twins being born. And he's saying, I'm going to go in there. I need to make some money for them. I need to provide for them. That seems to awaken a new beast in so many male athletes, right? I can relate to that to an extent, but obviously I'm not a fighter. I have a daughter on the way myself. And I always find myself thinking like, oh my God, I got to make more YouTube videos. I got to make some extra money. I got to do some voiceovers on the side because I do a lot of online work. This isn't my only YouTube channel. My other one is my main channel. It's a gaming channel. It's monetized, like, and it gets a lot more views than this one. I mean, so I'm always thinking about how I need to do stuff on that channel, how I'm supposed to get to work on doing voiceover work, which I do on the side. So I relate to that to an extent because I'm like, oh my God, I have a daughter on the way. And I can't imagine the motivation that would give you if your job was to fight. Like, I can imagine that these guys would not give up no matter what. Paddy Pimblett seems to have a fire lit under him. On top of that, what I was going to say when he's out of commission, he mentioned Alexander Volkanovski. He understands Alexander Volkanovski's mindset. He's out of commission. He was laying on the couch. He's like, oh my God, I need to fight. What am I going to do? And all he wanted to do was get in there. And all he wanted to do was make some money to provide for his daughters. He has new motivation, brand new motivation. So I'm feeling good about Paddy Pimblett. He's confident in his ability. He's being real with it. He understands there's a possibility to lose Tony Ferguson. He was talking about how he's still in a lose-lose situation with it. If he beats Tony, you beat a washed-up Tony Ferguson. If he loses, cut him. He lost to a washed-up Tony Ferguson. So he's being real. He's being real. He was calm. The hate doesn't seem to be getting to him at all, which is very cool. So I'm feeling good about the takeaway from Paddy Pimblett here. Now, guys, there is one more fighter that I want to talk about, that being Brandon Royval. I am very, very happy from what I've seen from him. Don't get me wrong, I've always been a fan of watching this dude fight. This dude is a kill or be killed fighter. He always puts on the most exciting performances possible when he gets in the ring, but I've never really listened to a long-form press conference or interview or anything like that from him. He just gained a complete new fan in me. I know we're not really diving into his mindset here, which I will dive into in a second, but he's just so likable. I find myself cheering for him. I made a video talking about the top fighters that I want to see win at UFC 296. If I would have seen this before that, I would absolutely put Brandon Royval in there. I am fully behind him, which sucks because I bet on Pantoja because I don't want to. Now I'm put in a situation where I really want Brandon Royval to win. Regardless, the dude's being positive. He's being respectful about his opponent. He understands that he lost the first time and there needs to be some adjustments. He's been really working on not just going in there and creating chaos. He's working on finding the weaknesses that Pantoja has because he said that he does see some stuff, but he doesn't want to reveal what it is. They've been working on a game plan. They've been changing up his style. He's doing everything possible to win, and he wants to be a model champion. He wants to go into the octagon, make enough money so he doesn't ever have to work again, which is cool. They were talking about the first time that he had his interview. He's like, I don't want to go back to work tomorrow. I just want to come in here and fight in the UFC. Like, the dude is just so likable, but he was calm. He was understanding about the situation that he's in. He understands how good Pantoja is. He was being really respectful, giving Pantoja the respect that he deserves. So that's very important. The dude's head seems like it is... honestly, I would say he is the most locked in, understanding, level-headed out of everybody that we've talked about so far. I got nothing but a good feeling from Brandon Royval, but unfortunately, I do still think he's going to lose the fight. Regardless, man, he gained a huge new fan to me. I really like him. But with that being said, though, guys, that is all the fighters that we wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments if you took away anything in particular from any of these fighters. I would love to hear what you think, again, down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, everybody on the screen right now. If you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, everybody. Take care.